Hello dear students, this is Mr. Hitesh Patel, Assistant Professor LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. In this video session, we are going to discuss a subject named Basic Mechanical Engineering. Today in this video session, we are going to discuss about some basic concept of heat engine. Okay. So in heat engine, today we are going to discuss about introduction of the heat engine, Carnot cycle and Rankine cycle. So first of all, let's start with the introduction. So first of all, we don't know what is heat engine. So from the name itself, you can easily identify that it is some kind of engine which is used for conversion of any form of energy into another form of energy. And this engine is a heat engine, means it is use heat energy for the conversion of one form of energy into another form of energy. So heat engine is a device which use chemical energy of the fuel, and that chemical energy is utilized to producing heat energy, and that heat energy is used for producing mechanical work. So heat engine is basically a device which uses or which converts chemical energy of the fuel into heat energy, and subsequently that heat energy is utilized for producing mechanical work. We in our daily routine life we uses many heat engines like 4-stroke petrol engine, the car's engine, 2-stroke engine, bike and two-wheelers engines. So these all are the basic examples of heat engine. Okay. So heat engine mainly consists of three elements. First, source of heat, means the heat source from which heat energy is utilized. The second one is working substance, means which substance is used to transfer the heat from one place to another place. And third one is converting machine, means which machine is converting the heat energy into mechanical work. So heat engine is mainly consist of three elements. That three elements is here we can see on the display. The first one is heat engine. Okay. Now you can see that there is a heat source which is also known as TH. Okay. And the amount of heat supplied is QS. S means supplied and Q is heat. So heat is supplied. When the mechanical work is done, some heat supplied is utilized and heat rejected is we are minusing that heat, and after that we will work done during the process, and that QR, that means rejection of the heat, which will be released to the atmosphere, which is also known as sink or also known as cold body. Okay. So in short, the amount of heat energy is supplied with the help of heat source. Converting machine converts the heat energy into mechanical work, and the rest amount of heat energy will release to the atmosphere. Okay. Or we can say that it released to the cold body or heat sink. And the mechanical work produced during the process, W is equal to heat supplied minus heat rejected, QS minus QR. Okay. So next topic is Carnot cycle. So this cycle was developed by Carnot in 1824. Professor Sadi Carnot first introduced a concept of the heat engine. Okay. So according to Carnot, no cycle can be more efficient than a reversible cycle which operates between the same temperature limits. Means this in this world no cycle can be more efficient than a reversible cycle which operating between the same temperature limit. Okay. So this is the statement given by Carnot. For understanding the Carnot cycle, we need to take total 4 assumptions. The first assumption is working fluid must be perfect gas. The second assumption is the walls of the cylinder and piston must be perfectly insulated. And third is compression and expansion process must be reversible, and the piston cylinder arrangement must be weightless and it does not produce any friction during the process. Okay. And the last one which is not mentioned here is transfer of heat does not change the temperature of heat source and heat sink. Okay, so for understanding Carnot cycle, let us take one example. So first of all, take one insulated cylinder. Okay, in that cylinder a perfect gas is, okay, after the first of all, when the perfect gas is, after that we are use total three bodies: hot body, cold body, and third one is adiabatic wall. So this whole cycle will be divided into total four part. First 1 to 2, at that time we are taking hot body which we are brought in contact with the cylinder. After that, during process 2 to 3, we are removing the hot body and adiabatic wall is taken in contact at the bottom of the cylinder. After that, during process 3 to 4, adiabatic wall is removed and cold body right just contact to the cylinder. After that, again cold body is removed and the adiabatic wall in contact comes in contact or brought in contact with the cylinder. So during Carnot cycle, first of all, when we take hot body which is at temperature T1 at the bottom of the cylinder, at that time what happen? So first of all, understanding of this theory, we must know the meaning of each and every assumption, because when we are not able to understand the assumption, then we are not able to get this theory. So first of all, do one thing, read all the assumptions carefully, after then join this video. Okay, so first of all, when the body which is at temperature T1 brought at the bottom of the cylinder, at that time what happened? So the cylinder are completely insulated from its circumference. The piston and cylinder assembly must be weightless and we are supplying heat to the bottom of the cylinder. At that time that heat will transfer to the perfect gas and there is expansion of the gas takes place, and due to that piston will travel to the upward direction, and this expansion of the gas takes place until the temperature of the gas reach at temperature T1, because the fifth assumption, the transfer of heat does not change the temperature of heat source. That means the heat source which is at temperature T1 remains at temperature T1, but it transfer the heat to the gas, perfect gas, until its temperature reach at T1, and due to that there is a transfer of heat takes place at constant temperature, and during this process there is expansion of the gas takes place. So this process is known as isothermal expansion process. Okay, and we know that there is isothermal expansion, so during expansion volume is increased, okay, and pressure is decreased. So you can see that during process 1 to 2 the graph is in downward direction, that means pressure is decreasing and volume is increasing. So this process is known as isothermal expansion process, and during this process we are supplying heat to the system. During process 2 to 3, we remove the hot body and adiabatic cover brought at the bottom of the cylinder. When we take adiabatic cover at the bottom of the cylinder, there is no transfer of the heat takes place during the process. But as we know that the piston and cylinder assembly is weightless, so there is continuous expansion of the gas takes place due to the heat inside the perfect gas that we have already supplied. So due to that heat there is continuous expansion of the gas takes place, and this expansion takes place adiabatically. So this process is known as adiabatic expansion process, and during this process we can see that there is continuous expansion of the gas takes place. So during process 2 to 3 there is expansion of the gas takes place. You can see that volume is increasing, pressure is decreasing during 2 to 3, and this process takes place adiabatically. So we know that there is no heat transfer during the process. The next, during process 3 to 4. During process 3 to 4, again adiabatic cover is removed from the bottom of the cylinder and we take cold body at the bottom of the cylinder, which is at temperature T2. When this cold body brought at the bottom of the cylinder, at that time there is a reverse flow of the heat takes place because the body is cold and the perfect gas is at temperature T1, which is hot body. Okay, so there is a reverse flow of the heat transfer takes place. Heat will transfer from the perfect gas to the cold body. But fifth assumption, there is when the during transfer of heat there is no temperature change in temperature of the heat supplied and heat source and heat sink body, so that the cold body receives the heat from the perfect gas, but there is no change in temperature takes place to the cold body. Okay, so the transfer of the heat takes place until the temperature of the perfect gas reach at T2, and in this process you can see that there is a heat reverse flow of the heat transfer takes place, so there is a compression of the gas takes place. So this process is known as isothermal compression process. Okay, and in this diagram, PV diagram, you can see that there is a compression of the gas takes place, and due to that there is increase in pressure takes place and decrease in volume takes place, and during this process heat is rejected. Okay, now again we remove the cold body and come contact the adiabatic wall at the bottom of the cylinder. But due to the compression process, there is continuous compression of the gas takes place, and due to adiabatic wall, again there is compression of the gas takes place. So this process is known as adiabatic compression process. Okay, which is indicated by line 4 to 1 on PV diagram, because during compression we know that pressure is increasing, volume is decreasing. So this is the PV diagram of Carnot cycle. Here in this figure there is temperature T1, T2, T3 and T4 indicated. That does not mean I am wrong. I have taken T1 and T2 only for the understanding. Here in PV diagram we have taken total four temperature T1, T2, T3 and T4. That means T1 and T2 both are equal, T3 and T4 both are equal. Okay, so let's solve the thermal efficiency of the cycle. So first of all, the main equation for thermal efficiency is equal to net work done divided by heat supplied. So the net work done is the difference between heat supplied and heat rejected. So Qs minus Qr divided by Qs. So if we want to solve the efficiency of the Carnot cycle, we must have the value of Qs and Qr. So heat supplied during the process, we know that we have supplied heat during process 1 to 2, and that process is known as isothermal expansion process, and we know the equation for isothermal expansion that we have already learned in chapter number 3, constant temperature process, heat supplied during constant temperature process, that is Qs is equal to P1 V1 log V2 by V1 base E. But we know that P1 V1 is equal to MRT1, and here mass of the gas is 1 kg. So the equation becomes RT1 log V2 by V1 base E, or V2 by V1 is also known as R compression ratio. So RT1 is log R base E, that is heat supplied during the process. The next is heat rejected during the process. So heat rejected Qr is equal to P3 V3 log V4 by V3, because heat is rejected at isothermal compression process. So P3 V3 is equal to MRT3 and mass is 1 kg. So RT3 log V4 by V3 base E, and V4 by V3 is known as compression ratio, which is also known as R. So RT3 log R base E. Okay. Now, work done during the cycle. So work done W is equal to Q1 minus Q2 is equal to Qs minus Qr is equal to RT1 log R base E minus RT3 log R base E. And if we divide this equation by Qs, we get the equation of the thermal efficiency. So Q1 minus Q2 by Q1 or Qs minus Qr by Qs, the equation becomes 1 minus Qr by Qs, and by solving this equation 1 minus RT3 log R base E divided by RT1 log R base E, R and R will be cancelled, log R base E log R base E will be cancelled. So the final equation will be 1 minus T3 divided by T1. So this is the thermal efficiency for Carnot cycle. Okay. So what are the limitation of the Carnot cycle? So you can see that there is all the assumptions that we have taken, that all are the limitation of the Carnot cycle. The first limitation is the Carnot cycle is a hypothetical cycle. The second is the assumption is the thermal efficiency of the Carnot cycle depends upon the temperature of heat source and heat sink, but it does not depends on the working substance. So that is not possible. So that's the limitation. Practically, it is not possible to neglect the friction between the piston and cylinder. There is always some kind of friction remains present between the piston and cylinder. So due to this cycle is not possible. The output that we are getting is really very small. So it is not a practical cycle. Okay. So these all are the limitation of the Carnot cycle. So the next one is Rankine cycle. In Rankine cycle, there are mainly four components: boiler, turbine, condenser and pump. Okay. So first of all, we will understand each and the function of each and every components. After then we will jump to the operation, and then we will find the basic thermal efficiency of Rankine cycle. So first of all, the pump. The function of the pump is to convey the liquid from one place to another place. Boiler, the function of the boiler is to convert the steam from water at constant pressure. Turbine, the function of the turbine is to produce mechanical work. Okay. After that, the steam which will be comes out from the turbine will enters inside the condenser, and the function of the condenser is to reject the heat from the steam and convert that steam into water and supply to the pump. Okay. So let's start with the operation. So when the condenser condenses the steam, it converts the steam is converted into water, and that water will be pumped by the pump to the boiler. In boiler, there is conversion of steam from water takes place at constant pressure. Okay. When there is conversion of the steam takes place, after that, that steam will enters inside the turbine. In turbine, that steam produces mechanical work and comes out through the exhaust of the turbine, and that steam will enter inside the condenser. In condenser, there is rejection of the heat takes place. Okay. So this is the operation of Rankine cycle. Here you can see that during process 1 to 2, there is work done by the turbine, and during this process, the entropy of the pump, entropy of the system remains constant, which is indicated by line 1 to 2 on PV diagram. After that, during process 2 to 3, the water is converted into steam, means there is a heat received by the water, which is indicated by line 2 to 3 on diagram. After that, in turbine, there is expansion of the steam takes place, and that expansion takes place isentropically, which is indicated by line 3 to 4 on TS diagram. After that, there is rejection of the heat takes place inside the condenser. So that is indicated by line 4 to 1 on TS diagram. Okay. So let's start with the efficiency. The efficiency we'll find out with the help of the equation thermal efficiency eta is equal to net work done divided by heat supplied. Net work done W net divided by QS, and the equation will be QS minus QR divided by QS. So for solving the equation of the efficiency, we need to find out the heat supplied and heat rejected during the process. So heat supplied, we need to find out heat supplied as well as heat rejected, QS and QR. So you can see that QS means the heat is supplied in the boiler section and the boiler is between 2 to 3 point. Okay. So the equation of the heat supplied will be H3 minus H2. Okay. Now heat rejected. The heat is rejected during process number 4 to 1. Okay. So the equation of the heat rejected will be H4 minus H1. The work developed by the turbine. So the turbine is between point 3 to 4. So the work produced by the turbine is H3 minus H4. And the last one is work done by the pump, that is H2 minus H1. Okay. So for finding out the thermal efficiency, the net work done is turbine work minus pump work divided by heat supplied. Okay. So the net work done WT minus WP divided by QS, and we know the equation for WT as well as WP. So WT, the value of the WT is H3 minus H4, and WP, the pump work is really very small, so that we will neglect the pump work. So the equation becomes WT divided by QS, and the equation of WT is H3 minus H4 divided by QS, that is H3 minus H2. So this is the thermal efficiency of the Rankine cycle. Okay. Rankine cycle is mostly used in thermal power station. Okay. All the power plant which coal based thermal power plant which works on Rankine cycle. If you have any queries regarding this, then you can write down your comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching my video.